Hello, welcome to episode 3 of Middlesbrough Football Club's official podcast. It's called...
You're joking, aren't you?
Yes, well remembered.
I nearly forgot that.
We're Big David Wheater and myself, Craig Ignett. I'm delighted to say I've got 2 former teammates with me this week. Both played together, both forwards, little and large, dumb and dumber, Laurel and Hardy, call them what you want. But I'm delighted to say I've got John Hendrie and Paul Wilkinson with us. Lads, brilliant to see you. How are you?
Good to be with the Chuckle Brothers, isn't it?
He had to get it back, did he? He had to get it back. I've been thinking of an introduction for ages about you two. And that's the best I come up with.
Well done, pal.
Yeah,
they
thank
could
you.
fire all them names back at us, though, couldn't they?
Well, every chance
single one of them.
there's every chance I'm going to get something because I know the two of them. Obviously, former teammates of mine. What are you up to? John, what are you up to first?
Very little, pal. I had a knee replacement last August, which has been disastrous, for the truth. But I think he's put a coconut in there. It's probably 3 times the size of the other one. And I had a second drop in November, and I'm still not signed off, mate. So I'm hobbling around here everywhere, but smelling the roses and enjoying life.
Good. Still getting out with the dog?
Absolutely, yeah, every day. So that's been my saviour, to be honest with you. It's been brilliant.
How about you, Wilkes?
Yeah, I'm actually do a little bit of work at Worksop College now. Right. So I have a girls' academy there. So been doing that for the last 3 years. We sort of started it with Jill Scott 3 years ago now. Obviously, she's gone on to different things now. So I've sort of taken the mantle. So I run that.
I see that because you're quite similar, aren't you?
Yeah. Everybody thinks we're brother and sister. I'm like, oh my God. It's very true, very true.
Do you just get to watch plenty of football?
Yeah, plenty of football. I mean, he's more varied probably than me. I sort of go around Sheffield Wednesday, Barnsley, round the Donny, round the clubs near my area, and then when I can get up here now and again.
Do you enjoy watching football now?
Yeah, I love it.
Do you? The Premier League?
Yeah. I love sport, so I'm a real sport person, whether it's cricket or football. I just like golf. I like watching sport. I'm not really interested in the other stuff and telling sport's my thing. So, but I really enjoy football. The only thing, I do get a little bit frustrated, as we all do, from playing a few years ago when you're seeing this sideways and backwards and keep the ball for 30 minutes and then have 2 shots in and a half. But again, that's the way of the world nowadays, and you have to go with it. And you know, I think there's 1 or 2 subtle changes now that people are seeing and making, which is good for the game, and it's starting to get a little bit more end to end again, which I think people are starting to enjoy.
Right. So,
do you know when you said similarities with Jill Scott there?
You set him off now, you killed me. I knew you were going to say that. I know.
My head's just going round to you, and I'm thinking, when he first joined the Boro, when he first came...
his name is Jill.
No, but he had long fingernails, he had long hair.
Oh, he did have a beauty. He had a lovely tash. Did you have your lovely tash when you first... Still had it?
I can't remember that.
He's had some corking hairstyles. Yeah,
You had a big tash.
Wilkes had a big, lovely long perm with a big tash at one point, long nails.
He was a pioneer. I tell you what, I remember when I first shared with him, he just came into the club with these long nails and long hair and everything else. I tell you, I was unsure. And yeah, it did. And it's like, hey, listen, we've got our toilet bags, haven't we? We've got toothbrush, toothpaste, shampoo, gel, deodorant, razor and shaving foam. That's us, isn't it, in my little bag? Well, he would come with a trolley dolly. You know, he would come with a 10 kg trolley dolly. And then he had everything. And I mean everything. It's the first footballer that I knew that used moisturiser, right? And this, he'd wax as well. I thought, wax? I'm thinking, has he got to wax me when I'm sleeping? Did he? Well, no, because I never slept. That was the thing. I went to bed with one eye open and looked against the wall. Because through the night, as well, we had certain different contraptions as well. And through the night, I heard that bzzz. And I'd seen his razor blade and I'd seen his sort of shaving foam, so I knew I knew that wasn't a shaver. Yeah. So I thought, what else can go zzz like that? And that's why I never slept a wink on a Friday night. On my first Friday. Fortunately, I woke up in the morning, and to my relief, it's the right word.
So it was that then.
It was a nasal trimmer, and I had never seen one of these things in my life. It was this nasal trimmer. I'd been using it in the toilet when I was in the bed.
See, I brought him into the 21st century. Do you know what I mean?
Taught him how to look after himself. He wouldn't be this manicured now if he didn't room with you.
Yeah, so Wilco the pioneer, not just that, even at Barnsley. At Barnsley, I mean, working class town, I mean, a lot of supporters are from mining families. He was the first player that I seen run out on the pitch in red boots. Well,
It was.
red
boots. To wear
boots.
red boots, yeah.
And I swear, and we're thinking, red boots, we're like, oh. So I remember, I'm not going to do the tunnel with him. Well, yeah. So the wolf whistles, you know, all the old bands, hey, chuff it out, chuff it out, they're all wolf whistles now. It was hilarious, it was. I just turned and I says, well, you've got to play today. You've got to play well today.
You have played together a couple of times, haven't you? So you played together here, obviously. You had 2 promotions here. Yeah. Played together at Barnsley, where you got another promotion, the only one in history, to the Premier League. Yeah, into the Premier League. What did you enjoy playing with each other? Obviously, you roomed together. But you seem, when I first signed, obviously I signed in '92. I think you came in '91. You came a little bit before in 1990, was it? Yeah. Did you know each other before then? Because you seem to have a really good relationship on the pitch.
Yeah. I think it developed, didn't it, over time, because when I first came, I played like as a single striker. I mean, Bernie used to rotate sometimes, or Bernie would play the 10, and him and Stuart Ripley would play wide. Yeah. So it was very much based around that, wasn't it? But then what happened was, because we played the 3, which is a little bit different in them days to what it is now, but we played the 3 where they would knock the ball up to me, and these 2 him and Rips would play off me and come inside, and it was probably a little bit different to just knocking it forward for the sake of it at times and into space, and it worked for us, didn't it? Yeah. And what happened was we got a good understanding, and we got a good understanding together, and once we got that understanding, he started to read my flick-ons and things like that, and then gradually over the next 12 months we ended up playing together a little bit.
Yeah, because you went more central, didn't you then? You changed the way you played.
That was once Bernie went to Port Vale, so Lenny chucked me through the middle alongside Wilco, and it clicked. It clicked, it did. And he mentioned 2 promotions here, under Lenny, 1 under Robbo, and then on to Barnsley as well. So for the only time, and as you say, their history, we got them into top flight. And I remember Football Focus coming to Oakville, Barnsley's ground, midweek, to do a feature on the 2 of us. Because we were successful, because of the promotions and what have you, and the presenter said, well, what's the secret of your success and what have you? And Wilco said, yes, it was another big lad, I'm taking all the knocks and everything else, the big bruises. He just runs fast and scores a goal and what have you. And I said, and that went, yeah, it's sort of telepathic. And Wilco says, yeah, he knows where my balls are going to be. Well, I swear to God, guy, I've lost it. I have lost the plot, and it will cry. Right. So you think nothing of it and what have you. Maybe it's about, I don't know, about 7 or 8 years later, it started coming on at Will Wright in the night shows. I swear to God, you know, football gaffs. And it was on 6 times. The reason why I know it was on 6 times, because every time it was on, I got a cheque for 250 quid through the post. Royalties.
Guess what I got?
I swear to God.
And he didn't half it with you?
Well, I thought he would get it as well, but he's saying he get nothing. You got it. Well, you did, well, yeah.
It was he loaded the gun?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
I can't believe you haven't got no... Do you remember when you were going to sign for Boro? So I think you came from Leeds, didn't you? So you'd had a spell at Leeds. Did you get a phone call off the manager? Is that how it worked back then? Did they phone you up and say, look, I've reached an agreement, or did they phone you first and try and poach you?
No, I hadn't been. I mean, obviously, in our day, I mean, it was that many times you'd be tapped up. I mean, it was at Bradford, I mean, Cloughie tapped us up. Yeah. Different managers over the years. But at Leeds had just got promoted into the top flight under Wilkinson. And not Paul Howard, and
under Wilkinson again, yeah.
Got to pick my words here. And obviously it was a close season, and I'd missed the back end of the season with a knee problem. So I'd gone in a week before the season. Pre-season was due to start. I've gone in with the physio just to get a week under my belt, what have you. Training at Ellen Road, thinking, okay, voluntary. Yeah. Anyway, I've come back from Ellen Road and there's a note on the kitchen table. Was it UFA? No, it wasn't that. And, leave the biscuits. Yeah. No. It was just a note from my missus, please ring Colin Todd. I've rang Toddy up, and bear in mind I just left Ellen Road after training. He says, John, I've agreed if you were Leeds, can you come and talk to me? And I'm thinking, what? Well, you're not. He says, no one at Leeds just rang me. He says, oh yeah, I've agreed a few with Leeds. So that was that, just hung up, finished, jumped in the car.
Did you check with Leeds?
No one. I've not spoken to Hendrie Wilkinson to this day.
Honestly? No.
No. That's why I celebrated when I scored.
Yeah.
You know, that somersault.
I was going to say,
3.4 in the Richter scale. 3.4 in the Richter scale, wasn't it? So, yeah, that's how I ended up here, pal.
Do you remember yours? Because you were at Watford, weren't you?
Yeah, I was at Watford, yeah. No, well, to be fair, Lenny had contacted me about coming up. It was actually quite funny. So I came up and I remember the old Erson Park. I walked out on a picture at Erson Park and I was with Lenny, we were talking. And I went for medical, came back, and we're out there talking, discussing one thing. And he says, and he says, do you know you've got an injury? So I said, no, I didn't. He says, yeah, he says, do you know you've fractured your ankle? So I'm like, nah, I didn't. And of course, you know, it's like in those days, you didn't bother sometimes, you just get on with it. Yeah. You didn't, I strapped my ankles up from when I was 17 all the way through my career. So I used to play and they'd hurt me, but it never bothered me. So then he says, yeah, you fractured your ankle. So he showed me the picture. And he said, but don't worry, he said, the doctor says it's okay and you'll be all right, said thing. But you can imagine nowadays, you'd have had no chance of, and it just shows you that the difference that things were then.
So did you play on that then?
Yeah, I played at Watford. I remember doing it at Watford with about halfway through the season. And I can remember playing on a Tuesday night with it. I actually played on a Tuesday night and I limped through a game.
So when you signed for Boro, did they sort that out or did you just crack on with it?
No, I said it had healed itself, but it still had, obviously, I still showed the fracture or the crack, yeah, where it had been.
Do you remember your debuts?
Yeah. Well, I was West Ham, 0-0 at Erson Park. Board draw.
Good debut.
Yeah, there's a crack at it. Better than mine. Mine was 7-0 at Arsenal.
Board draw.
I think it was Johnny Wark and Robbie Mustoe. It was the three years made their debut that day.
Right. Who was yours, Wilkes?
I can't remember.
Honestly.
I'm trying to think, yeah.
You came in the summer, didn't you?
Yeah.
Who
was it?
Oh, I can't remember.
Did you come at the start of the season? So
I came in the summer, yeah. I stayed at the start of the season.
Him and Big Willie Faulkner came.
Yeah.
Sorry, wee Willie Faulkner. Wee Willie Winky.
Yeah, no, you've thrown me there.
Sorry, but who were some of the tough, big defenders back in them days? Because people say I was tough, but I mean, looking back at the 80s and stuff, early 90s, you see some ruffians.
I remember my debut when I was at Grimsby, Mick McCarthy. I played against Mick McCarthy. Oh my God. Honestly, every ball that came in was a tackle. Yeah. And you just, I can remember being black and blue at the end of the game, but I wasn't going to let him know he'd hurt me. And it was like, but people like that, I can remember playing it, you probably won't remember, but Paul Miller and Graham Roberts at Tottenham. But for me, to be fair, one of the stronger ones were always major competitive. And you had to fight and scrap. Because you knew when the ball was coming up to you, you were going to get wellied. Yeah. 9 times out of 10 in them days, you were going to get wellied.
Did you get booked or did the ref just allow it?
If it was in the first 5 minutes, which they'd allow it, that was your 1 or that was your 2. And
I used to hate that. That's what I used to hate.
Yeah. But then they'd be clever and they'd leave it for 10, 15 minutes and then you'd get one again, probably somewhere where it didn't matter so much and the ref would probably go, that's 2, just be careful. The thing was, the refs in them days used to torture you a lot, didn't they?
Would you rather it be somewhere in the middle now? You go down, you get free kicks now, don't you? Someone touches you, you get free kicks. He's somewhere sort of in the middle, I think, where defenders can still stick it on you.
I think it's spoiled the game that defenders can't tackle. I think you should still be able to tackle. And tackle from behind, I get. If you're going to go flying through somebody, but they should still be able to nudge people and bang into people.
Well, you strikers do. You strikers somehow get away with stuff, don't you? Elbow in the centre half.
He used to get away with it all the time.
I used to get away with a lot with elbows and
card.
things. Yeah.
I remember, I saw John Beresford last year in Portugal when he played at left back and when I was playing at wide. And I was in company and he came up to me and says, this guy here, me, he says, normally you get the full-backs kicking the living daylights out the wingers. He says, but he used to kick living daylights. I said, yeah, because you were smaller than me, that's why. And it was like you would get a boot in first before they did.
Who were the left backs you can remember playing against who you thought, oh, I don't want one off him?
Stuart Pearce. Yeah. I mean, obviously Pearce was one. I mean, I played in his debut actually. I was a young kid at Coventry, and he came in from Wealdstone, and we beat QPR 1-0 in his debut at Highfield Road. Dave Bamber scored. So you think years later, when you play against him, you nod to your ex-teammate and let on and what have you. And I went like that to him, and he just stayed right around like that. Like, right, okay. But no, you just roll your sleeves up and say, right, okay, I'm in for a fight here. You've got the protection of the referee to a certain extent, but the centre halves, Shotton and Briggs at Oxford.
Yeah, they were.
I remember both of them.
Mal Shotton, he gave me a black eye. When we, remember that freezing wet day, it's Barnsley, when it was bucketing down, when Jan Fjortov scored.
Yeah.
And Mal Shotton gave me a black eye. And there's all these rumours going around that Uwe had biffed me one because
that's right. Yeah,
it was absolute rubbish. It was. Yeah. It was Mal Shotton who just went like that, finger in the eye.
Do you know what the thing was in them?
Huh?
Yeah.
No,
Wait, do you know
what
the thing was in them days? Because there was no cameras. Yeah. If the ball was at the other end of the pitch, you'd often see somebody on the floor. Yeah. And they'd be like this, and the centre half would be walking up and down like that.
Would you prefer to play now then, where you can't get away with anything?
No.
Why? And not even as a winger?
No, just the whole package. I think our era was better. I mean, you can't do nothing nowadays. Everyone's just scrutinised so much. I think it was more fun in our day. Yeah. More characters, and you're allowed to be characters.
Why do you think there isn't characters, John?
Because it's society, isn't it? It's society, it's rules. Yeah. Oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. They're not allowed to be characters. Because it's not been good role models for the kids and what have you.
I think if you do one thing wrong, people take videos to get some money. They'll send it straight away, won't they?
That's right. Do you think social media's ruined a little bit?
Definitely 100%. And if I was, say, the chairman of the PFA, I would just say to all the members, right, guys, none of you on social media. None of you. Because it plays torture with your mind. And if you're my player, right, and I'm your manager, we both know if you've had a bad game. Now, you come in Monday morning and say, right, okay, right, well, we'll get to work here. But if you're on social media and you've been reading everything about yourself, and it's not necessarily always your supporters as well, it might be rival supporters, you come in and your head's minced and what have you. So that makes it the whole job, my job, a hell of a lot harder to get you up for the weekend as such. So it's, yes, I've got nothing favourable to say for professional sportsmen in social media, no.
See, a lot of them, I say, are Instagram footballers where a player might be at a club, but he's not playing. But he won't leave that club because it's a better club than what he would probably go to, and he's happy with taking pictures and saying, I'm here, and they end up going through the career where they've played 150 games and have had a 10 or 15 year career at clubs that they haven't played at, all because of Instagram. Yeah.
I think that's probably where it's changed a lot. I think, and listen, you talk about our day, but I think in our day it was about winning the medals and winning the championships and being a part of something that was successful.
Do you think it's more about perception these days?
I think some of it probably is to a degree. I think the top players are always going to be the top players because they have that desire and that drive and that determination. But I think there is probably a little bit of an element now where people are quite happy just to be a part of it and not really too worried about if they're not playing, whereas in our day we'd be knocking on the manager's door if you weren't playing, wanting to know why, because that was the biggest thing. You always wanted to play. Everybody wanted, and that's why the majority of players played with injuries most of the time, because that's what you did, because you didn't want to give your place away.
You have both been involved coaching and managing. Have you seen a difference in players' attitudes over the years? So have they changed? And if they have changed, how have they changed? Is it harder to deal with? Do you think players are harder to deal with now, or do you think they're more accepting? We call them snowflakes, don't we? That, you know,
I think they're harder to deal with. They're
spoiled.
Because
I used to say that. We used to say that yourself, for example, you were brought through the academy, and they would say that, and this is in olden days as well. They'd say about kids from the academy coming out of crew. They might sort of train you all the techniques and everything else, and good habits, but what they don't train you is to play against a hairy bum centre back on Hartlepool reserves on a cold, wet, windy January night. There's that side of it. So the character side of it is such. So it's
do you think they're weaker mentally?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Because they haven't been brought through that. It was quite brutal, wasn't it? When I was growing up as a player, I don't know if you were Wheats at Boro, But, you know, as a young player at Liverpool, we got, like, some of it was really poor abuse. Do you know, when we had to do players' boot, if we didn't, we'd get told, or we didn't, do you know what I mean? It
wasn't too bad. I think I missed all the, what's the word, hazing, is that the right word? All that stuff. I did some clean boots, but I think that was about it, really. So I missed all the Alan Johnson. The Scottish winger, playing his boots. But I was playing with him in the reserves, and I was thinking, why am I doing this, pal?
I can remember being an apprentice in them to paint the dressing rooms and paint the fences and do all the ugly side of it. But the big thing was, even when I first started playing in the first team, I was cleaning the changing rooms till 5 o'clock on a Friday, because that was you, and you had to help your mates.
I think I'd have enjoyed that.
No, it was. Once you went, it was the best thing ever, because it taught you. You all had to work together, and believe me, they'd come in at like 4 o'clock and they'd go like that. Bit of dust, right, do it all again. And if anybody had left, you had to ring them and get them back.
Yeah, can you imagine doing it now though? No. Straight to the PFA, aren't there, players? Go clean that toilet, no.
But you'll get it, it's changed, and you go with the change because you have to, and I understand the game, and you understand the way that things are done, and you know, you look at it, and I still enjoy watching football like everybody, and football's my passion, always has been, but you do sometimes wonder if some things are for the better in some of the ways that
regarding the apprentice, were you an apprentice? Well,
yeah.
So I was an apprentice as well. Nowadays, some of the youth team players don't get mixed with the first team players as such.
Yeah.
So like and Jimmy Hill was my first chairman. No, he was way before his time. I mean, built a fantastic training ground at Coventry, first all-seated stadium, and they'd link up with Washington diplomats in America for these young players to go out there. But my job as an apprentice was to help the physio. So if the players are injured, there's no ice packs in those days, well, certainly never bought any. So I had to come in the morning, sort of put a plastic cup of water in the freezer, put a wooden stick in it, then pull the other ones that are already frozen out. And if Higgy comes in injured, he's on the bed, I've got to sit in the stool, bring my lollipop out. I swear to God. And just
I know.
so of course it was like, or his hamster,
whatever. He has to go back my nose spinner, and he's going, look.
You know what it was as well? It's like you're in there and you're mixing with the senior pros as well. And you're getting character. It's like when the physio goes out and takes the lads who have got to do rehab training, and I'm left in with the boring, the lads who are bored. That's what they're bored if they're injured. Hey, I can't say on here what they did to me. I'm telling you, they would get locked up for it and what have you. But that was all the sort of the character building of that era was as such, and it was accepted.
I used to love being around the first, just them knowing my name, saying like Wheats. It was class, like Southgate, whoever it was, Ekiog, just saying my name. I love this.
Were you both involved in the game at Molineux where Boro got promoted? Yeah. Did you both play? Yeah. What are your memories of that day? Because wasn't there a bomb scare or something before the game?
The dressing rooms, was it a fire, wasn't it? Was it a fire or a bomb scare or something? Because there was no lights or nothing, some fans had got in and done something under the night before. So when we got up in the morning about 9:30, it was still wary whether it was going to be played or not. There was still, they were up till about 10:30, wasn't it, whether it was going to be played, because it was last game of the season, well, they needed it to be played.
Did Wolves have a shout of getting promoted?
It was something to do, or whether it's to do with the fans, and somebody had a grievance, didn't they? And so.
What do you remember about the game?
I remember it being
unbelievable game.
But I remember initially it was like a dead rubber one. It was boring, wasn't it? There was nothing happening. It was a non-event game for so long, and then Nicky Moan gets sent off at 0-0. So you're down to 10 men, and we had to win. If we win, we've got promotion.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we think, well, here we go. Then Andy Much scored, and his celebration went OTT, didn't it?
Yeah.
He milked it in front of the Boro fans. Yeah. So we think, that's it. Then I'll let you take over, Wilco. We're losing 1-0. No, I mean, John Gittins and you scored the goal.
Yeah. I mean, Gitts scored from a corner, didn't he? I think Gitts scored from a corner, and then obviously the top man Jamie used his speed sprinting down the right wing and got a cross in, and Jamie Pollock, and I managed to get my head on the end of it. So it was certainly one of those days that you felt it was meant to be. it was just one, because when we'd gone down to 10 men and you're like into the second, you're thinking, oh my God, here we go, it's not going to be our day. But then as soon as we equalised, you get a little bit of a feeling for it, and then obviously we managed to scrape the winner, and then we hung on for dear life, as I say, and kicked a couple off the line, didn't we, and scratched through it. But it was an unbelievable achievement, really, because we'd been up there all year, haven't we? We'd been battling and scrapping, so it was a great, listen, as all promotions are.
I remember just before it, I think with 3 home games in a week, and Lenny had said, you never win all 3 in a bounce at home, and we did.
Yeah,
we did, and there was.
Do you remember my hand of God?
Was that good?
Bristol Rovers.
Bristol Rovers.
Yeah.
You scored a punch.
Yeah. It was on Match of the Day as well. And they asked me the question, Higgy.
Lenny was brilliant.
And you said no.
I had him at Bolton. For about 10 years ago. He knew no one's name. He called me Boro. Called lads from Norwich. Knew where you're from. Didn't know anyone's name. I was thinking.
Listen.
Lenny Lawrence, yeah.
Lenny.
It was brilliant.
He was good.
I liked Lenny. I liked him.
He was Neil Lennon's assistant.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Who was?
Lenny was Neil Lennon's assistant.
And Lennon was bonkers.
Yeah. He'd need somebody like Lenny with him. Lenny's.
Do you know? I mean, he says he put his head in the ball there at Wolves. That was his forte. I tell you, in both boxes, defensively and attacking, he was brilliant.
Yeah.
He would just put it in that area, and he would get in the end of it as such. It was like, I mean, we had the combination, but he was a one to win where it would hurt. I mean, that's why he's got a face. But it was so brave, and it was brilliant to play. And you think, because he would compete, you think there would always be pieces off him. Yeah. It was brilliant. It was brilliant.
Yeah, no one ever got a free header, really, did he?
Were you quick as well? Were you fast?
Oh, I wouldn't go that far.
Do you know what the thing was, Wheats? I never used to train much because I used to get a lot of knocks and a lot of bumps because it was so physical. But that suited me because I just liked the games. I hated training. I wasn't really a great trainer. I'd train, but we'd sort of go through the motions a little bit at times. But I just wanted to play. So I never missed many games. But it was great.
Did you get any bad backs to your height?
Bumps and dead legs and not, do you know what I mean? Because when I was jumping, people would jump in.
Oh, people don't realise when you're getting knocked every single day by big fellas, it hurts, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It was maybe 1 week he missed. He split his fingernail. And big long nails.
You know who fixed it for me, though,
What do you when you think back about your career at Boro, have you got any favourite games or favourite moments?
Well, go on, Wilkes. I've got several.
Have you? Yeah. I mean, I used to love Ayresome Park. I don't know, but it was like a special. It's like Goodison and places like that where the fans are on top of you. So the reality was that every time you did something, there was a big roar. Everybody's around you, and there was a slope on camber on the pitch. So it was always a great place to play. And some of the games you had there against Newcastle and Sunderland and the derbies were just unbelievable. I remember. Do you remember us winning at Newcastle on Boxing Day when?
You ran?
I ran from in our own half to score. You won't believe it, Siggy, but I actually ran with the ball from our own half to score the winner. And that was like a real special moment for us in that season. But again, it's just those moments that people just don't realise when you score a goal, or that little bit of adrenaline that flies through your body. It's just fantastic. And then coming to this place was special as well because you felt a part of being able to deliver this place at that time, and it was fantastic to come in, and Janino coming in and people like that, and and then Ravanelli obviously later on after I'd gone and people like that. I mean, for this club to have that type of player and level of player was such an exciting time for everybody, I think, and to go through I was here 6 years, you were here 7, weren't you? To go through that difference of where the club was and where it went to was like just
I think
special.
we all played, didn't we, when it was 5,000, 5,500 at Ayresome, wasn't it? Near the end of Lenny's Lane, where we got rid of Willie Faulkner and Tommy Wright and all those players who were there. I had kids really who were all playing. When there was nothing, the club was going nowhere, was it? And then all of a sudden, it ends up with this place. And
Robbo came in, and Viv, and Clayton, and United, and some other, and everything just went sort of.
I mean, the Millwall goal everyone mentions whenever you're about anywhere.
Yeah.
Everyone always mentions the Millwall goal.
That was Colin Todd was in charge. That was my first season. Bruce Rioch, it was his first game back at Ayerson Park after leaving, and it was like one of my biggest assets was just running with the ball, and just Robbie Mussel played my ball just edge 18-yard box, and I thought, right, run Forrest, run. And I just ran, and it's like, first thing in my head was, right, okay, Benny, don't go offside. So I see Benny making a run out to the right wing, I'm thinking, that's it, that's half the job done, and what have you. So then I just carried on running. It's like, just run, and it just opened up. It was like the Red Sea opening up for us, and got to the edge of the box, and then Brian Horn was in goal, so we later came here on loan. Now, if you can't score past him, you're struggling. If you ran that length of the pitch, you can't put one in your week. When you're busy. Well, he's even bigger now. And I just passed into the bottom corner, so it was like, I remember you scored it and you just, Holgate ended as well, and you think, oh, that's one for the grandkids.
Yeah. The Luton goal, was that the last game?
Last game at Park. Yeah, that was special as well, but you don't think of that at the time as being special, because all you were bothered about is getting promotion.
Yeah.
That was our aim, was just to get promotion that day.
Did you have to win that day, or what was?
Yeah, well, we had a game after that, Tranmere, but because we won, Bolton dropped points midweek, and that was us promoted. And of course, as well was my hat trick against my hero, boyhood hero, Kenny Dalglish.
He was my boyhood hero as well. Yeah. I'd love to have scored that day.
It was his home debut, right? And it was like, I was
scandalous. This is true, by the way. It's scandalous.
It's all true, man. It's all true.
Never ever forgive him for it.
Yeah. So we're playing at Ayerson Park against Kenny Dalglish's Blackburn, and I'd scored 2 goals, and it lands in the middle of Higgy on his home debut and me. Well, like Billy Bunt on the school playground.
Shut him out the way,
didn't you? He says it landed in the middle. It didn't. It was in my path. Right. It was just there, just for me.
It's called a mismatch.
Just to slide it. I've seen this out the corner of my eye. I can see this fella, and I'm thinking, is that a Blackburn player? He's going to tackle me.
So he's quicker than you?
Yeah. No, I'm just timing it on. I'm just waiting for it just to go bump.
So that character building that I had at Coventry as an apprentice, that's what it was, push him out of the way.
It was a proper shoulder badge. That was a proper shoulder badge.
I'll have to try and watch that.
Yeah, proper shoulder.
And I just wellied it into the top corner. Wellied it.
What was it like playing here for you after Ayerson Park?
Well, I mean, I missed the start of the season here. It was like, because I'd got injured pre-season. I mean, that's how Higgy scored the first goal, because I got injured pre-season.
So what was the injury, John?
It was my groin. My groin. I had my first groin injury in my life. I don't know how it...
Yeah.
No, it was a groin injury. I done it in Bergen. So, yeah.
Oh, he'd done all the pre-season and he missed the pre-season, weirdly enough. What's the worst injury you've ever had, John? Did you play many earwilks?
No, I played a few, but not loads. Yeah, no.
I only scored one.
On near?
It was down here there. Yeah.
West Ham?
Yeah, West Ham.
So did you move in the season?
Yeah, not the first season. Because
so it's in the middle of the next season?
October '96.
Yeah, I moved in the end.
Is that, when did you know you were going to move? Because when I first came to the club, there was always talk about you moving somewhere else.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
And
actually, I nearly went to Celtic. I nearly went somewhere. I nearly went to Celtic. I think Martin O'Neill got the sack.
Was that Farsley Celtic?
Had a good day. That was so you could both be near you, son. Near you.
And you followed each other.
Yeah, I know, yeah. So I nearly went there. Then I went to Luton on loan, and I had a couple of loan spells, and then Danny came in for me at Barnsley at the end of the season. So.
And did you go straight to Barnsley from here as well?
Yeah. October '96, my last trip, because let's face it, once Robbo, I remember when we'd I do it at the Craythorne Hall end of season, and I remember having the chat, because I was club captain at the time, and I remember saying to the chairman, I said,
was that when the hypnotist was on? Did we have a hypnotist on?
Can't remember. But I remember saying to the chairman, I just said, we need
club captain. Imagine him being club captain.
Yeah, I hypnotised Lennon Rollins to make me club captain. Make me club captain, Lennon. Make me. And I said to the chairman, I said, we need a spark, because it had gone flat at the end of Lenny's tenure. And he says, don't worry, John, what's coming in next will blow you out of the water. And of course, Lenny told us. Lenny tipped us off that Robbo was getting a job.
Well, he got us all in off the park, didn't he? Remember that, when we were all went in off the park, and he sort of announced he was leaving. And
when Robbo came in, that was it. That was the start of the Robbo revolution. It was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. It's like, okay, we're still in the training here, there, and everywhere, all over the shop and what have you. But it was the start of something special, and it was like his first year was brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's like he's England captain, Man United captain, his first managerial job, player role. It's just the presence of him, Big Gordon and Viv.
Who would you compare that to now? Him coming in, who would come in? Player coming in, who would you compare it to?
No, you're talking about an ex-England captain who like hero, like Beckham of his day, so to speak.
Rooney,
Rooney like that. Yeah.
Someone like that.
And it was, his presence was brilliant. It was just that first season was magnificent.
Yeah.
And you ask everyone now, what was your favourite years as chairman? It was just the Robbo years. It was a great adventure. Yeah. Obviously Rockcliffe here and everything else. The foreign players coming in, and it's like, Could just say that, it's just been great being part of that adventure. They're taking the clubs on a different level.
Rockcliffe was a bit different to Tollesby Road, wasn't it? Remember that? Oh, I remember being there, and Ravanelli, obviously Emerson and Janino were there, and it was mad just seeing them on the field in the middle of Middlesbrough, wasn't it? And all sorts on there, wasn't it?
It was incredible, wasn't it, where we used to
train?
It was,
wasn't it? You just think back and God, it's true.
Yeah, someplace Rockcliffe, isn't it?
I know.
Yeah, I mean, if you just pick one game, if you could pick one game, not just Boro, out of your whole careers, which game would it be for you and why?
I suppose, I mean, for me, I've been lucky enough to score in the games that mean something 3 times. I scored the winner for Barnsley when we went up, the one at Wolves. And then probably the other one is I scored in the Everton-Liverpool derby, which in those moments, they sort of change your career, if you get what I mean. On Merseyside then, I couldn't do anything wrong, even though it was my first home game. And then obviously, when you score the winner in to get promotion and things like that, it was just those sort of moments you just can't recreate. And they're just special moments. And I think people always say, oh yeah, but wouldn't you want to play now and the money and everything? I say, oh, that's fantastic. And that, great for them that are playing now, it's brilliant. But our days, it was just fun. It was such a laugh. Even though everything was deadly serious.
I mean, some of the away trips we used to have. Remember the away trips we used to have?
I mean, it was fantastic. The camaraderie and the fun that we had was like, you couldn't, listen, and I get the money and I get the way that they're treated nowadays, and it's fantastic. And I would never have got off the physio's couch nowadays. I'd have been in every bath and every oxygen chamber and everything. So.
The one thing I remember about you, and it was the first time I'd ever seen it, was before the game, you would spend maybe 10 or 15 minutes stood in a hot bath, just warming your ankles up.
That's it. I'd lay in the bath, yeah.
And I'll never forget that. You always walk in the bathroom, you'd be stood in a bath.
It's like a visionary, aren't
you? My thing was always, I need my energy for the game. Yeah. So I just think, why don't I want to go out for half an hour and run around and use half my energy and then not have it for the game? So that was just my routine.
Did you
Other people have did things. No, not really. No. Not a lot, no. Sometimes. When I first started, when I was at Everton, nobody went out really. It sort of everybody started to do it a little bit later on, but not many people went out.
I don't get the warm-up thing, because you go in for about 10-15 minutes after the warm-up before the game, don't you? So it's...
I watch some of them nowadays and I think, I'd be absolutely knackered if I had to do that before the game.
Well, when I was at Bradford,
understand it, but you just think,
well, when I was at Bradford, we used to get in the bath. I used to get in the bath beforehand. Because obviously, yeah.
Well, that's a no-no now, isn't it? Having a hot bath before anything.
Yeah, but it wasn't too hot, but just to warm your muscles up and what have you.
What about your games, favourite games?
It's like, I mean, different clubs, many memorable ones. Obviously, the ones I've just said there, like the Millwall, the Blackburn, the Luton, they were special as such. Barnsley, promotion when Wilco scored. I mean, you're part of their history. Yeah. And at Barnsley as well, knocking Man United out the FA Cup as well. I mean, I scored at Old Trafford.
Was that when Schmeichel miskicked that ball?
Yeah, that was emotional. Yeah. That was, we're getting back to Barnsley as well, beat them 3-2. Yeah. 15 months later, they won the treble, and that was little Barnsley. But the one at Old Trafford was special. I'd scored at Anfield before, but I'd never scored at Old Trafford. And at the age of 34, my mum and dad, they didn't get down much because of their health and what have you. They were doing it that game, and behind the goal for that. I remember running back, and I was filling up. That was so at different clubs, you have different memories. Of course, my other clubs at Bradford as well. We went through it with it 40 years ago this year. There was those special moments there as well, and we've got a very close bond with that team. We had a get together recently, we did, and it was special. Yeah. It was special. So
well, I think an event like that would bring anyone together, wouldn't it?
Yeah. It changed it changed me as a footballer and as a person as well, because it just puts everything into perspective. Yeah. And rather than sort of dwell on things and be down after the game or take the ball home with you, you think, okay, I'll put that to bed. That's right. I'm just focused on the next one now.
What about managers? Favourite managers? Have you got a favourite manager?
To be fair, I think because they were all such big characters in our day, they were different, but I didn't mind any of them. Cloughy was a total one-off because of the way he was and the way but everybody thought he was, but he looked after his players so well. People don't understand it. You know, everything was done for the players. He got your mortgage, he got your car, and he looked after you like you were his son. And people forget, I think in those days, that's how managers were. Yeah. You were part of them. They were like the top person, but they looked after you like you were part of the family. And I think that was where football's probably changed a little bit, where that sort of family sort of atmosphere has drifted a little bit because there's so many areas now within a football club of people and different aspects and different departments, whereas probably in our day it was more was under one umbrella. And I think that type of thing has changed, and you know, I was lucky. I had Howard Kendall, and I had Cloughy, and I had Steve Perryman and Steve Harrison at Watford, and I had Lenny. So I was lucky to have a lot of good managers, a lot of good characters. Yeah, Harry was brilliant. Yeah, absolutely bonkers, great guy. But they were. That was the thing, you know. They all had. It was always something about them. They were all different.
You had to be back then, though, didn't you? Because the players were off it as well. You know, there's big characters. I mean, I had Harry Bassett at Barnsley after John, and he'd had the crazy gang, and I could only, you know, I couldn't fathom what he'd gone through. And you're hearing stories about, I think they'd shoved the physio in the luggage compartment in the coach, and he had to go 2.5 hours back home. They wouldn't let him out. Young Frenchie, little Frenchie. So, I mean, it was the players were just. You needed a strong manager, didn't you, or a strong character as a manager, and have a little bit of give as well. How did you find? I mean,
do you know regarding Cloughy? I mean, I met Cloughy at Sandaker Hilton. He tapped me up. I actually rang my house once, and my missus, she was 7 months pregnant, and my daughter was only about 14 months old as such, and the phone goes, and the house phoned, and Don Goodman was always a wind-up merchant ringing up. Don Goodman can do voices, and he'd done it several times. Anyway, she picks the phone up, and she says, hello. She says, hello, young lady, Brian Cloughy, I'm going to speak to your husband. And she says, yeah, and I'm Barbara Windsor. Slammed the phone down. Yeah. So of course, we met up a few weeks later, and he was charming as ever to my missus, and it's like my mother-in-law. But I never seen him. I was petrified. I was scared. He would. He had that aura.
And I think that's what you used to find years ago. They had an aura about them.
I will never forget, and he petrified me. I was involved, Liverpool reserves playing at Nottingham Forest at the City Ground. Cloughie was on the bench with his normal attire, his green top and what have you. Phil Thompson was our manager. I'm sat with Ken DeMange and Brian Mooney, 2 Irish lads who were at Liverpool. 3 subs. Gary Ablett was playing left back and Gary Crosby was playing right wing for them. 10 minutes before half time, about 50-50, Gary Ablett, sadly no longer with us, he nearly killed Crosby with this tackle. He's launched himself, he's caught him almost on his hip. Like it was an awful tackle, but Ken and Brian Mooney start laughing. So they're laughing, and it was quite loud. I didn't know what to do. Anyway, with that, Brian Clough gets up and he walks from their dugout to our dugout, and I'm sat in the dugout with the 2 lads here, and he leans in and he went, "Don't laugh, young men, don't laugh." And I'm thinking, and he turned to Phil Thompson and he went, "And you should know better, big nose." I'm like, whoa. And then we're like trying not to laugh, and then it was like, wow, it's like, who's this fella? He's off it. And I was petrified of him ever since then. He was just, he did, like you say, he had a proper aura about him, didn't he? He was a one-off. I mean, I listened to some of Mark Crossley's stories, and, you know, some of them are just absolutely nuts, what he used to get up to. He was brilliant. Did you have a favourite manager then, John?
When I gave him a debut, it was Dave Sexton. Coventry, obviously ex-Chelsea, Man United manager. He was a good guy, very deep thinking and what have you. And I enjoyed playing under Robbo here. Yeah. I mean, Terry Dolan as well at Bradford, and Trevor Cherry, because you're learning the game then, successful times and what have you, and it was good for him. But yeah, Robbo here was different class. I enjoyed under him because
we do have a little interlude with Dave's dilemmas, don't we, Dave?
I've got 10 questions for you. Dave's dilemmas.
Have you got your Dave's dilemmas?
I've got them. Do you want them?
Have you got them? Give us a Dave's dilemmas.
Well, the first question, we've been from here. I need it looking better than this, don't I? Though? Like,
you need it laminated, don't you?
Laminated, yeah?
Yeah.
You're on one of these.
Am I?
So 10 questions for you, fellas. Brian Robson or Lenny Lawrence?
Oh, jeez.
I done one of them Sun features not that long ago, and I picked Lenny.
There's 4 footy questions and good questions.
Yeah, no, I'll take the 2 of them.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Gone safe, haven't they?
Yeah, probably safe, sitting on the fence, haven't they?
This is for you. Boro or Bradford?
I'll take the 2 of them.
Boro or Watford?
Boro.
Come on, straight in. Come on.
Yeah. No, I love both clubs. I love both clubs are doing it. The affinity with what's happened at Bradford and everything else.
I've seen a mural of him at Bradford. Like, it looks nothing like him, right? But I think, is that gone now, or is it still there?
No, it's gone. Someone said it looked like Richard Gere. Was that right?
No.
The last footy question. No, it's not. I've got one down here. The Riverside or Ayresome Park?
Yes, sir.
Ayresome.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now the proper questions. Hulk Hogan or the Ultimate Warrior?
That's some of his wrestling things. I know. Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Haggis or a Parmo?
Haggis.
Proper good questions, eh?
Yeah.
Parmo.
Didn't you send someone out looking for a haggis once when we were away in Scotland?
Yeah, 3-legged.
Here's a tough one for you. Hignett or Barnby?
Oh.
I've got to say Higgy because I bought him, didn't I? I bought him. I signed him. I plucked him from
I'd have to say Higgy.
I would always say this.
Why?
Say all you 3 are like my hero. I always say this every episode. It's like my heroes, isn't it? It's weird. But yeah, I'd say you. Chinese or Indian?
Indian.
Indian.
What'd you go for? Are you spicy?
Desi Karahi.
What is that? What's that?
Chicken Desi Karahi.
Is it spicy?
Yeah, it's Uncle
Ben.
It's spicy, it's nice, it is, yeah.
Here's one for you. Last one for you, John. When you got a kilt on, balls in or balls out?
Listen, I always know where his balls are, but not on that question.
You're going to say balls out, aren't you, all the time?
Every time my kids, I've got 4 kids and 3 have been married. and they've always had to wear a kilt. They've said wear a kilt, dads, and it's always, proper Scotsman. And
Balls out then?
Yeah. I remember last year I was at a do in Ilkley, Craiglan's Hotel. It was a Christmas do, and it was on the dance floor. It was a black tie do, and I've got the black tie with a kilt and everything else on the dance floor, and I'm like, get it swigging away and what have you. And this lady came up to me. No, my kilt.
See what he's like.
My kilt was spinning.
See what he's like.
And I was just on the dance floor. Next minute, I felt my kilt being lifted up, and there was a woman there, and I'm thinking, if I'd done that to you, I'll get a slap, love. What are you doing? And she said to me, she said, true Scotsman. She says, would you mind if I showed my mum? I went, yeah, sure, love. And I thought she was only kidding on. But a minute later, she comes over with mum. My mum's got on a walking stick. My mum's in about 80. And she comes over and lifts up with it's true story. It was like, my missus, she's only you. Yeah, wee Willy Winky.
Balls out? Balls out then?
Well, I want to know which end of the walking stick she done that with.
Yeah, always, you got true Scotsman, mate. True Scotsman. And proud of it. Yeah. Proud of it as well to wear the kilt. Yeah, it looks a part of it.
Are you half English now? Are you half English? You've been here long enough, haven't you?
I've been here for, more than that. I've been here since 16. What's that, 25 years?
But isn't that one of the reasons why you never got a Scotland cap, John? Because I think it's scandalous that you never ever got a Scotland cap.
Yeah. It's like, you pick your bed, you lie in it, don't you? I mean, when I came down here at 16, I never kicked a ball in Scotland. And it was like, I was seen as an Anglo. If you look at Alan Hansen, if Alan Hansen was English, he would have got 100 plus caps. You get 25 caps. He was seen as an Anglo. And it was, if I had gone up and played in Scotland, I remember playing Mickey Galloway, who was playing at Halifax, moved up to Hearts, and within a few months he's a Scotland international. But no regrets. I mean, so I've made my life down here, and proud of it as well. I'm a Scotsman, but proud of what I've done down here as well. I mean, I'm not one of those who are anti-English.
Should be as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, listen, it's been a pleasure, you two coming in today and catching up with you. Bring back some great memories. Yeah, bring back some great memories.
I'm going to ask about this groin injury.
Have you enjoyed it?
I love it. I love it being with the boys. Yeah, it's class.
He's came a long way, hasn't it, since the wee boy Scouser, the wee ginger Scouser came in. But he's always been wrinkly. He's calling the ginger wrinkle.
I was going to say something there, but I can't say this on camera. Well, that's a pleasure. That's episode 3, all done and dusted. Join us next time for episode 4, when we'll have some better guests, obviously. We were struggling for money this week, and we had to get the lads in. But it's been a real pleasure, and hope everything works out for you too.
Up the Boro.
Great to see you. Up the Boro.
Thank you.